Councillor Sue Anderson is the Cabinet Third Sector champion for the Beacon scheme. So how has her role affected partnership working?
The Carers Centre being run by the third sector, I always felt was a major step forward, and this has been a success. And I welcome the success that the Carers Centre and the work that the Carers Centre has done for carers. I also welcome the cooperation between all the carers groups and to give carers a voice within the City Council. I think we're a success. I think we've still got some way to go, but we are providing excellent services, and it's through our third sector partners that those services are being provided.
Birmingham's own success is setting a national benchmark for partnership working, and events like the Open Day provide a platform to promote our good practice. So Birmingham City Council is very much committed to developing long-term partnerships with third sector organisations. Without these partnerships, we will not be able to achieve our vision of better services for all our citizens. Partnership working has many benefits, bringing with it support and guidance from the City Council and also allowing a sharing of ideas and increased understanding of people's needs.
If organisations, voluntary organisations and community groups are interested in becoming involved in the commissioning process, we could work with them.
Because when we first started, we were a group, not really knowing our direction, but we with Be Strong, we are definitely on track. They help us to structure the association, put things in place. The management committee is in place, we have subcommittees and everything. And throughout all these 2 years, during this period, we've been coming here, they've been enlightening us, we've been having seminars and courses and so forth. Definitely with Be Strong, we are in safe hands and on the right track.
As a result, many diverse community groups and organisations are able to target much needed services. So what difference did winning the Beacon Award make to ways of working with the third sector?
I guess for me it is important that those communication channels are always open, and I do think that the work we did with IDA through the learning sets was really good, and I do wonder whether we may want to repeat that again at some point.
Yeah, I think it would be good to do something similar to that, the kind of strategic engagement and talking about how the higher levels of institutions can work together to get the delivery right, and that I think needs to involve members and also leaders from the voluntary sector. And I think the other thing in terms of keeping leadership and connections going is really maximising the opportunity we have with the Third Sector Assembly. The Assembly now has got a 5-year programme of work funded through the Big Lottery Fund to support that kind of connection, and we need to capitalise on that. You've got an unprecedented opportunity now, I think, to link in with the voluntary sector. In terms of the spin-off of the Beacon Award, I think it's been really quite important that the city's won this award. Important for the City Council obviously, but also a really good thing for the voluntary sector in Birmingham. And what it's triggered is some discussions with our other public service partners, the Health Service, Learning and Skills Council and so on, who are talking to us about how they can do something similar and engage with the sector in a similar way. So a number of the lessons that the council have been through, I think, are now being shared more widely, and that's really good news for the voluntary sector, because clearly that makes our interactions with the public sector partners easier. The City Council's Third Sector Commissioning Framework, I think, is an interesting example of some really good partnership work that's been happening lately in Birmingham between the sector and the council. The council approached us at the beginning of the process and said, you know, we want to engage with the sector in this. We don't want to just impose this new framework on the sector. We want to know what the sector would benefit from in terms of constructing the framework appropriately. So BVSC seconded a senior member of staff into the council to work on the framework, and we also convened a cross-sector group of experts, if you like, in the field of commissioning, who looked at every stage of the documentation, and we took every stage of the documentation back to BVSC's Chief Executives Forum, which is a wide-ranging group of chief executives in the sector, and I think it's fair to say they gave some robust feedback at every stage. They were able to comment on things that could be changed, things that could be improved, and also to acknowledge the things that were really good about the framework. And I think the result of that has been a framework which, you know, it hasn't been perfect for everybody, and I don't think we ever expected it would be, but I think a number of organisations have certainly fed back to us that they can see their hand in the framework. They can see that the points that they put in right at the beginning of the process were picked up, and that's made the whole thing easier. I think one of the most exciting things about the Third Sector Assembly is the way that it can link in with Birmingham's local strategic partnership. there are opportunities for each of the thematic assembly networks to have a place on each of the thematic Be Birmingham networks. So that's a very obvious way that the sector, in an organised way, can relate to the organisation of the strategic partnership in the city.
I think the important thing for the City Council in terms of service delivery is to have a range of partners who are able to deliver the types of services that citizens might not be able to get from the public sector. And from my perspective, I think the third sector is able to deliver a whole range of services in the heart of a community in a way that really public sector organisations cannot deliver them. The other bit for me, I think, is that it's really helpful to learn across organisations. And I think all the work we did around the Beacon, all the work we've done with the commissioning framework, has actually forced us to think very differently, not just within the City Council, but I think actually within the third sector, about the way our partnership was working and how could we improve that partnership for the benefit of citizens. And I think we've achieved all those things.
Birmingham's win under the Beacon scheme is nationally recognised as a forerunner in third sector partnership working and is having a real and positive impact upon the community. The City Council and voluntary and community groups will continue to work together through the whole of the policy cycle, from planning to delivery, to identify and meet the needs of our diverse population.